The first official Smash Ultimate tier list is officially here. Here's how it works. The top Smash players from around the world all submitted their own tier lists, which were then condensed into one, making this list as official as it gets. That being said though, there were a few things that I didn't like about this list, so let's get into it. Alright, as you can see, I replicated the official tier list here. Here is top tier, and down here is bottom tier, and the duplicates. Now, looking at this list, there is something staring me right in the face. There's one blaring take that I cannot believe. Can you see it? I'm going to let you take a look for a second. Can you see it? It is right about here. Do you see right here where Link is below Toon Link? I can't imagine why. Link's bombs make for tremendous setups, and his down air isn't nearly as committal. Granted, they are both Links, but at the same time, I definitely think the Link should be at least right up here at the bottom of B+ tier. Now with that out of the way, let's look at the top tiers. So first, let me start off by saying that this tier list was made by people all around the world. It had people from North America, Latin America, Europe, and Japan. And I think we're really used to seeing a North American-centric view when it comes to tier lists. So some of these picks might be really surprising for you. For instance, I've been saying for years that Fox is better than Pikachu, and I've been getting crapped on for so many years. It's just really nice that the global Smash community has my back on this one, especially Japan. Now for the top three, we have Steve, Pyramithra, and Joker. Now, personally, the only one that I disagree with is Pyra and Mithra. Don't get me wrong, she's absolutely broken on stage, but her recovery is pretty bad. I mean, Min Min has a better recovery than Pyra Mithra. So for that reason, I'm going to put them somewhere in the middle of S tier. Now, I have no specific place that I'm putting them in. Just somewhere around here in the middle of S tier. But I think that just because of her recovery alone, she's not in the same league as, say, Steve or Joker. The next thing that I disagree with is Cloud being way up here. I think this might really just be the Spargo effect. I think that because he's such a really good Smash player, people think that Cloud must also be really good, but I just don't think that's the case. So I'm going to put him down here, let's say right behind Greninja there. Also, similarly, I believe that Sephiroth also fits in this general area, so let's put him like right above Greninja. How about that? I think people are starting to notice Sephiroth's weaknesses, and so don't be surprised if we see him starting to fall from his placement where he is over in this area. Speaking of which, I think people tend to place characters that they aren't as familiar with higher than they necessarily deserve to be. For instance, I love Shulk, don't get me wrong, but I just don't know if I would consider him an S tier. Like, his Monado arts only last a few seconds, his frame data isn't that great, and of course, once you're done with his Monado arts, then he has to recharge them. So I think at the end of the day, I would put him somewhere in A+ tier, maybe towards the bottom of A+ tier. And to be fair, A+ is kind of the poor man's top tier anyway, so I feel more strongly that this is the perfect place for Shulk. Also, can we talk about some of the characters in B+ tier? Like, I know that Captain Falcon gets a lot of hate, but I think that he could easily go somewhere in A+ tier. Let's just put him right here in the back for argument's sake. And Ness? Come on now. He's going in. Why the heck did it grab Zero Suit Samus? Where was she before? Yeah, there we go. Ness belongs to be somewhere in S- tier. I don't know exactly where, but you know, somewhere around there. And come to think of it, there's one more character that I want to put into S- tier, and that is Samus. I remember back when people were putting her in B tier, and all I could think was, why? I think people are starting to see how good she is. Like, she can use Zair as a mix-up and as a way to get back onto stage. Down B is great for both getting back onto stage and mixing up her recovery. Charge Shot is dummy broken. She has great range and great frame data. She's super heavy, and I think that as more people use her, they'll start to put her up higher and higher in future tier lists. People fought me on Fox being better than Pikachu, so I might just be an early mover on there, we'll see. Oh, and I'm putting Mario somewhere in the middle of S tier 2. And you know what, why not Game & Watch? Let's do that. Both of these characters are really good. And speaking of S tier, what in the heck is Inkling doing way down here? They have her below Bayonetta! And here's the thing, I think this is why. So Inkling isn't a broken character. She's a really good character, she's a really solid character, but you can't just automatically pick her up and be good with her, like with a Pyra and Mytha or something like that. So if you're going to be putting in all that time and effort, why wouldn't you be spending that time learning someone like Joker, or Fox, or Pikachu, all of which are better? Now again, Inkling isn't bad by any means, but because basically everyone who used her moved on to someone else, we've seen her fall on most people's tier list. But for me, I'm still really high on Inkling. I think that she is S- at least. So I know that I've been just grabbing characters and putting them into S tier, but there are also some characters where I could say, you know, this character could be a couple of spaces higher or lower, but unless it's like criminal where they're placed, then I'm not going to complain about it. Like for instance, Sonic right here is just below S+ tier. I don't really know enough top Sonic gameplay to argue with that. Yeah, personally, I would probably put him lower, but I'll let the pros handle this one, so we'll keep Sonic right where he is. Now I think that does it for B tier and above. So let's look at the C tier and below really quick. Now when I saw this list, it actually surprised me a little bit. The fact that Incineroar is in the same tier as Wii Fit Trainer was just something that I never thought I'd see. If it were up to me, I would put Donkey Kong and K. Rool somewhere higher on this list. In fact, if it were up to me, I would put them both up in C+ tier at the very least. While they do have weaknesses, I think they also have a lot of strengths that tend to get ignored just because they're big boys. And actually, I see one big boy up here that I don't agree with, and that is Ridley. Personally, I would put him right around here, actually. I personally think he's D tier. I've heard that he's secretly a sword character, but if that's true, he's got Mii Sword Fighter range, Sephiroth's frame data, Donkey Kong's body, probably Isabelle's fall speed. I've actually been using Ridley recently, spoiler for a new video I'm working on by the way, and I just can't see how literally any aspect of him is better than Piranha Plant. I just can't see it. I've been using him and just there are so many weaknesses that he has where I can't see him above D+ tier. Now, just some commentary really quick. I was kind of surprised seeing Ice Climbers right here in B tier. This could be the Big D effect and people are just giving them the benefit of the doubt. But I've also seen some new Ice Climbers tech out there that could maybe potentially be useful competitively, so I'll not comment on that for now. Also, Pichu being this low is kinda weird to me, but again, I just don't know enough about Pichu to know for sure. Marth being up here, I understand that Marth is way higher here than on most North American tier lists, and I'm all for it personally. I think that Marth in D tier is inexcusable, so I'm really happy that the people around the world agree with me there. Bowser, I think, could easily go up to at least B+ tier. But again, that just comes down to people's opinion. Bayonetta being in B+ tier was super surprising to me. But I've been saying for a while that she's underrated. She's no broken by any means. She's solid for the most part. I could also make the case that Robin and Mii Gunner could go higher. But until we start seeing top players use them, this is basically going to be their permanent spot right here. Same thing with Wii Fit. I'm surprised that she is this low, but there just aren't enough top players using her. In fact, Young Link, I think Young Link could be all the way up here. But it's really all just semantics at this point. There's a lot of really good characters. I'm just happy to see my boy Sora way up here. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of things that you disagree with, both in my tier list and in the official tier list. I think it's important to remember that no two tier lists are the same. All of the top players from around the world had completely different opinions on this, so if you really feel strongly about something that either I or the official list got wrong, let me know. Leave a comment and tell me all the different ways we went wrong. But I think that's for me, so I'll see you guys next time.